Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 3rd of December. So first things first, let's just look at the news events which could impact our trading today, and there's very little. We've just seen this Swiss data come out, and the inflation data came out, and that all came out in line, all the sub numbers as well, so no surprises there. The bigger one this afternoon is the US dollar JOLTS job openings. Aside that, it's very thin, even with the lesser data that comes out. We've got a couple of speakers this evening, and that's about it. There's very little else here. Oh, we've got an ECB speaker at 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, I don't know what these speakers are speaking about, but they're speaking. But other than that, it's a quite old day out there in terms of news, which is good because we can just get on with the technicals. Speaking of which, let's look at this euro dollar. So euro dollar yesterday ended up, it already put a good chunk of this down bar in there. My suspicions still are that we could see some follow through of this movement. If you look at the price action here, it's broken it structurally, it's back into the original trend. It's whether or not it starts breaking down here this morning or this afternoon, whenever it is. Just had a bit of a surge up there into the pivot there, but we'll see what happens post 8 o'clock. But it's a more slightly more difficult one now in terms of this price action, in terms of getting into a trade on the euro. It did come off yesterday afternoon pretty well. Come off from sort of midday there, it spiked and broke down a second time, but we'll see. Maybe we need to wait until this afternoon again for something similar, but for now it's got the potential to rock and roll. The pound, very similar in terms of price action, same sort of daily outlook here. Price action on the 4-hourly looks very similar. Price action on the hourly looks quite similar. We have again gone through, popped in a little higher low here though, so it's got a little bit more of a kick in it. Again, this failed yesterday midday-ish. It started coming off, so it just shows you the sort of slide of the way these markets are. Is when we got the double, both the London session and US session. We're seeing a lot more movement. Which would be to should be expected. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, we've got to wait a little bit here. I'm certainly not a buyer in this market at the moment. US dollar yen. Well, the yen did come off yesterday eventually. I was looking for a sell-off, but it was quite late when it was midday. It wasn't that late actually, and it's rolled over, but since pushed in. Missed the entry yesterday. Let's have a look at the way things are going at the moment. Still looks pretty soft-ish. It would be nice to come up here, and my preference would be to see a move into either the weekly or the monthly pivot. This being the weekly pivot, so we've got probably a bit of divergence around these lows, the way this price action's going, with the way the calculations made. These little retracements here, so we could see a bit of a slowdown and a bit of a move back in towards that, and I would be looking at that very closely. Aussie dollar is catching a little bit of the bid this morning. Here is yesterday came back off there, back into those prior lows, and it's bounced yet again. It's whether or not it will hold here and go the other way. For now though, well, it has put the higher low in. We've seen this on this lower time frame with the pound, seen it attempted on the euro dollar. The Aussie dollar's done it as well, both of them working much more correlated. Anyway, looks like we could have a little bit more, but I'm not interested in it. I want to see it breaking down. I'm not interested in trying to buy it where it is. US dollar CAD So yesterday saw it running back up again. It's the strength coming back in, but it wasn't to the same extent as we saw the strength in the euro and the pound, where we were taking out previous lows in their case, highs in this one. It should have been. It wasn't making new moves there. It's a bit of an in-between. The Trump threat for next year already sort of looms over the Canadian dollar, but it was at one stage looking like it was going to sort of roll backwards a little bit more, come off a little bit more, but we'll see how things develop as into last week. But we had the Trump effects coming through. Looking at it at the moment though, it's put the higher lows in, confirmed the higher lows, and even though it's now put a little lower high, it's all a bit of a mess and a muddle there at the moment. Maybe best avoided until it looks a bit simpler on the eye. New Zealand dollar, it too is picking up. This is a bit of an in-between here. I keep looking at the bigger picture here on the weeklies and just looking to what's going on, whether we're going to see a proper breakdown or whether it's going to turn around. It's one of those coin flips almost. Would like to see it push up more and catch the bid side of things. It did yesterday start running up there quite nicely, only it's pull back and push back up again. Maybe we'll see more, but again it's against this sort of bigger trend it's trying to run against at the moment. US dollar Swissy, well, we've just had the news out this morning. It's not really done too much there because it was neutral, no real surprises there. Not a lot to be going on for this at the moment. Maybe it's looking like it's got a chance of a spin round again, but nothing interesting. Across pairs, Euro Yen's coming off nicely yesterday, and well, it's got a little bounce at the moment, but again you're looking at sort of this bare flaggy sort of territory. In fact, that's probably the nicest looking little flag of them all. It's all very close. We didn't have a big sort of clear higher low in there or anything like this. It's just straightforward up there, so we'll see what happens. I'm quite liking the idea of looking to see if this fails this morning for the short side. So there we go, that's that. I have got a little Aussie New Zealand running, but it's a short, but at the moment it's going the opposite way for now. It started off well yesterday, then came back against me, then went on well, then since then it's come a bit against me at the moment. But this Aussie New Zealand looks like it's got scope for the downside. We've now got the monthly pivot, which was providing support, out the way. We'll see if we can actually, okay, we put those prior lows in there now and people will be looking at those, but if we can get a breakdown, a turnaround and breakdown, still has potential for a decent move. We've got a quarterly pivot right the way down here. We've got some scope in it, but we have got news in the morning for one of them, New Zealand, Aussie, one of them. Right, tomorrow morning. Right, I shall leave that there. Let's have a quick look at gold, and for you old gold bugs out there, consolidation really remains here in this current price action. It's not really showing too much of a hand. Don't like it was doing this personally. It's just that the risk is it could go either way very quickly. And with gold, it's you're moving so many points when it does it. You can scale down in terms of size, etc. on it, or if you leave the same size on it all the time, you're risking massively a blowout on your account. But there's no telling some people, is there? Western Texas. This just really didn't happen for me yesterday either. It's just, you see it on the weekly, last week and running into this week. Okay, we put a little lower high in there yesterday, but it did move over there at 2 o'clock, but and it might do the same again. Yesterday it took so long coming up there. Might come off again. A bit more oomph in there. But that's pretty much it there. S&Ps, well, yesterday made new high. I know that's hard to believe, and well, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw another one today. We do have that monthly pivot below, which at some stage might become a target point for some, but it'll be a nice support point if it does get down there. But for now, it just carries on the ride. Unfortunately, the FTSE and the DAX ain't doing quite the same. Although the FTSE did pick up yesterday a bit better, but it's a tougher one when it's doing this for last week. That's what it did. Maybe it's got the chance to push up again I say today, this week. A lot more rosy this week than it did last. That's a nice move off its pivot yesterday. It got a good kicker off it and carried on pushing. Not a move back to its pivot today could be potential. Right, I shall leave you there. There's not a lot else here to report at the moment. Currency wise, then we spotted the most handsome of them all is the euro yen. I will leave you waiting and seeing if this starts breaking down. I would give it an hour. I mean, it's just hit 8 o'clock. I'd give it 30-40 minutes before you chase into this. I can tell you from experience and stats, it's notoriously good at just moving a few pips in one direction and completely reversing. So be aware. Right, I'll leave you there. I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.